Welcome back to Eye to Eye in the Parks, where we talk about, obviously, Walt Disney World and so much more. I'm your host, Kyle, as always. Alongside me, well, virtually, I have someone else alongside me right now. If you're watching the video portion of this, we'll get to them in just a second. But my normal co-host, Miss Brittney Reese, is here with me as well for episode 8. Welcome back, Brittney.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Excited to talk about our trip from February, and I guess it ended on March 1st, technically. We'll just call it the February Reese Loomis trip and all the hijinks that it was. But as we started this podcast talking to you about that it was going to be mainly us on this show, we thought it'd be fun to bring in some different people this time. Now, for people who are normally used to eye to eye stuff, you'll recognize the person next to me and this particular voice.
Say hello.
Jessica, my wife, is back. And she is obviously the best part of the show anytime she shows up, because y'all would much rather look at her than look at me. I get that. I understand.
Thank you. That's the nicest thing you said all day.
Well, I have to get it in when I can right now. But we've got a new face here as well. Mr. Ryan Reese, my brother-in-law, brother to Jessica, husband to Brittney. Welcome, Ryan.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
I think we got all the introduction. Is there any other introduction that you'd like to have in there with that, or just husband?
Our mom, Ryan and my mom, decided not to be on the podcast. She was on the trip with us, and she said there was literally nothing that sounded worse in the world than being on this podcast with us. So that made us feel great.
Thanks.
About the podcast.
Well, I can think of one thing worse, and that's what we brought back with us from the trip. And when I say us, I mean me and Ryan. Ryan, how are you feeling?
I'm alive. We made it through, luckily.
We did make it through. I don't know what it was. Ryan tested for flu, COVID, all that stuff. Nothing came back positive. Whatever it was, we all got. And I say we, me, Ryan, Miss Rhonda, my mother-in-law, we are the ones that brought back some extra Disney souvenirs with us. Although I think we've tried to pinpoint it now. We think it was Buc-ee's that did it for us. I don't know. That's
definitely wasn't Mickey Mouse.
Yeah,
definitely
no.
Buc-ee.
No, I mean, at least that's what we want to believe, that Mickey wouldn't do anything bad like that to us. But we're here. We're making it. Ryan and I might have to cough a little bit throughout it, and we'll just let you two ladies run the show at that point.
It's fine. It would be better that way anyway.
I mean, you could just come do the show with Brittney from now on if you'd like.
I'm good. You and Brittney have a great thing going. It's a good show.
So all we're going to be doing on this episode is talking about our trip and giving you the review of it, the things that come up. No really set agenda for this. I just kind of asked everybody whatever sticks out to you day by day that we'll go through, and I'll kind of moderate and steer us somewhat in a direction which should be a little bit dangerous for everybody. I guess I'm the navigator of sorts sometimes at Disney, but Brittney's the planner. I'm the navigator. What would you call yourself?
Oh, I'm just along for the ride. I bring us to the snacks.
You bring us to the snacks. Ryan finds the pins. And,
absolutely.
And Miss Rhonda just kind of is there. I think.
Yeah, she's just there.
She gives us the gas. Kyle steers, and she gives us the gas.
There we
go. That's true. She tells us when we're walking too slow.
She does tell us when we're walking too slow. And she still had her Disney walk on today when we were heading to church.
We had to tell her to slow down. We literally said, we are not in Disney at rope drop. She goes, oh yeah, I gotta slow down.
On a mission.
On a mission. All right, let's dive into it. Let's talk about day one, arrival day, whatever you want to call it. This is the very first time for all of us staying at Disney Saratoga Springs. And we spent the day a little bit there, went to Disney Springs. I'll just kind of give an overview of that. But I'll let Brittney maybe share something from that day that stuck out to you or that was fun that maybe you want to talk about.
I think so we were in a preferred room, which is it's either in the building closest to Carriage House, the main lobby, or it's in the buildings that are closest to Disney Springs. And we were in the ones closest to Disney Springs. And it was wonderful how close in proximity we were. Mm-hmm. So we could just walk out of our room at any time and just wander over to Disney Springs and get a snack or go shopping. Our room wasn't ready quite when we wanted it to be. We had to wait for probably like an hour and a half after we got there. But I mean, again, it wasn't that big of a deal because we were able just to walk over to Springs and, kill some time over there. I'll kind of let y'all talk some more about the room and how y'all liked it. But I think that was what stood out the most to me was just the location, how great that was.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. That's probably the thing that I was going to mention if you hadn't, is just you puts in perspective the advantage of staying at Saratoga Springs. It's never been a resort that's high on my list at Disney, just because, y'all know how much I talk about Polynesian and dreaming about that, Beach Club and all the other aspects of the other resorts. But then you just don't appreciate enough how easy it is to walk to Disney Springs and to be there just within a few minutes, and how easy that makes things and how dangerous that is too in terms of spending money too.
However, I think for me personally, it made it a little bit easier to not spend a lot of money, because I kept thinking, well, if I really want that souvenir, I can go back. It wasn't that pressure of I'm only going to Disney Springs one day and I have to buy everything I want in that one day. So I could really think about what I purchased. And truly, my only souvenir, I only got me a mug. I didn't get anything else. So I did better than I normally do. So it worked out.
I've been looking at the bank statement. I don't know that we did better, but
in terms of souvenirs. Now, snacks are a different thing.
Snacks are a different thing. Ryan, what about you? What stuck out either about the room, Disney Springs, that first day that you remember?
Again, the location, being able to just walk to Disney Springs. I mean, maybe a 10-minute, I think I clocked it one time, maybe a 10-minute walk over there. And just what Jessica said was, I didn't feel the pressure of, we get one time at Disney Springs, I have to buy this thing now. We could go, kind of look around, decide, do I want to wait? Do I want to buy this now? Just that extra kind of aspect of ease being right there. It was really, really nice, and something that I mean, when we stayed at different properties, we don't have that kind of luxury to do that.
Well, you get the other luxuries too of the other parks, but this was in one we had never experienced before, and you don't realize how much it takes the stress away of just getting to Disney Springs
and the Disney Springs parking.
Yes.
Still looking for that pineapple garage. That's a message to my brother Caleb out there. Still haven't found it.
He'll never find it.
He'll never find the pineapple garage because it wasn't there from the get-go. We never said that, buddy. But all right, this isn't about me, Caleb. We'll handle that on an upcoming trip with the two of us very, very soon. But that's a lot about the room, Disney Springs. I mean, we went there another day, so we can talk more about that coming up if you want. I have something from another Disney Springs day that I want to talk about.
I think let's talk about the room itself and how great that was, because we were in a 2-bedroom villa, so we all got to stay together. Because in the past, when we've stayed together, it's been at Art of Animation or All Star Music, which, I mean, those are pretty spacious rooms, but we're still all crammed. 4 of us are usually crammed in one room with the 2 Murphy beds, and here everyone had their own room. There was 2 full bathrooms, a full kitchen. It was just great. Like, being able to bring home leftovers and put them in a real refrigerator, like, that is luxury.
And the washer and dryer that actually came in and feed the day after it rained. That was
I did laundry every day. It was great.
I love that aspect of it too. And I've stayed in a 2-bedroom villa at a DVC property before, and so this was somewhat similar experience to me. Obviously, different theming, little different setup. We didn't have that. At least I remember that Murphy bed that popped out of underneath the TV. Obviously the one that folded down in the seating area, but just so much room. Extra space for everybody to get comfortable, and obviously. We had a little bit of a fight over who was going to get the master bedroom. They won out. It's fine.
I mean, Brittney is our travel planner, so she deserved it.
We definitely relented.
I don't think y'all minded having your own beds, though. That was pretty nice.
No, it was nice having my own bed for once.
Yes, I think she probably enjoyed it more than I did.
Well, and it worked out that then you got sick, and I've had my own bed for 2 weeks now.
Oh my gosh! We just kept it going since Disney, basically, staying in opposite beds. I just had to do it because I was sick. The room for me was great. Anything else about the room anybody wanted to say, or does that pretty much cover it?
I don't think so. I mean, we had a great room, view wise out the balcony. Yes. I was scared that we were going to get one that's facing the parking lot, and we did get one that faced Disney Springs. So that was really nice to be able to walk out and just have a nice view.
Yeah, I love that view during the day, at night, because we could see that hot air balloon going up and down, throughout the day. And you can hear, not too loud, the atmosphere of Disney Springs from where we were, but not too much as well. So it just kind of added to that special feel of Saratoga Springs, that room, that section, Congress Park that we were staying in. And I think the drive there was pretty, it was a little bit more intricate to get to places, if you think about that, whether you're taking the Disney buses or things like that. But all in all, I think we all enjoyed our stay.
Thought it was a win.
Yeah. Let's talk about day one, or the day that shall not be mentioned, because we did not go to Disney. But if there's anything anybody would like to talk about from that, we certainly can. There are other things to do in Orlando other than Disney.
Quite a few, actually.
Quite a few. We did go to the place with a little less magic, and I'm specifically
Where the Muggles go.
Where the Muggles go, I guess, is what we're going to say, to Universal Studios, and had a great time there as well. I will say this, that's just my one thing from that day. It's my biggest disappointment of the trip. No Brookies. And Ryan had that news to me. Like, Ryan, when you came over to me that day, in the middle of that day, and just said, I got to tell you, I was like, oh no, he's about to give me the worst news possible. I knew it before. I could see it on your face. So thank you for being the bearer of bad news for that.
No, you're welcome. I didn't want us to show up. You know, you walk inside about to order it, and it's just not there. Once we figured out that, they were out of Brookies, I wanted to at least ease the blow.
It's okay.
It's like the one thing I look forward to in Universal.
Now, listen, I do have a good time at Universal. I do enjoy being there. It's just not Disney, but certainly we want to.
The magic's not there. The bathrooms aren't as clean.
Certain bathrooms.
Certain
bathrooms. But it was a fun day over there. What stuck out to Ryan? We'll start with you. What stuck out to you from that day? Anything?
I mean, it was again, now that we kind of push both parks into one day, I feel like we have down, we need to hit certain rides, certain times, when to jump park, and maybe, depending on how much time we have left, jump back. This time I felt like we were able to, take time if we wanted to sit down and, have a snack, just kind of collect ourselves. We were able to do that without, feeling like we missed a ride or anything like that. So all in all, it was a really good day. I felt like we hit everything we wanted to. We didn't stay for the parade, but I don't feel like we missed too much by not staying. I still feel like we hit everything and got to knock it all out in one day.
Yeah. What about you? What stuck out to you, or anything high, low from that day?
I think, honestly, the last 2 years, my favorite thing has been going to Circus McGurkus for lunch.
I knew she was
Yes.
Because it's just so quiet in there. It's like this little hidden gem. Nobody goes to eat there. It's calm. We can eat our food. Everywhere else that we've gone in Universal in the past, it's just so chaotic and there's too many people. And this is just like the quietest little place with hardly anybody there, and the food's good. And it's air conditioned. That's all I can ask for.
Quiet by a theme park standard. Certainly, there's a ride that does go through the top of Circus McGurkus.
Contrary to popular belief, the ride does go through.
Yeah.
We had a debate about that because you guys had ridden it earlier in the day, and it did not go through there. At least that's what you guys remember. You don't remember it going through there. So
no, it did not.
Apparently, they can change the track or whatever.
Yeah.
They just skipped it.
Just skipped it, which. I guess
maybe it only goes through there when the restaurant's open.
And I could see that.
See, this is why you're on the show.
I know. Y'all should have me all the time.
I've been trying to.
No,
okay,
I'm good.
sorry,
I'm kidding.
Okay. Brittney, what about you? Anything else from Universal that you wanted to talk about?
I think because we only go to Universal really once a year, and I've been to Disney multiple times this year, obviously. It just really solidified, I think, this time that I am very much a Disney girl, not a Universal girl. Not that I did not have fun. I did have fun, but I don't know. There's just you don't feel as in the magic, and sometimes it feels a little empty in there and a little dated. Not that there's not parts of Disney that don't feel dated. There definitely are. I don't know. It's just every time I've gone there the past couple of times, I'm like, I'm just kind of ready for this day to be over so we can move on to Disney tomorrow,
Well, regardless, I mean, whether it's about the theming or stuff, it's always fun to be there because they've got great rides, and they do have some great theming as well. Because it's nice to go in there for all you Harry Potter fans and see your little pew.
Obviously, Kyle is not one of us.
Hagrid's is an amazing ride. Okay, I'll give him that. That is probably top 5 rides I've ever done.
Is that what that's called? What is that ride actually called?
Hagrid's Magical Motorbike, I think.
Something like that.
Something like that. And we did that very first thing, so we knocked that right out of the get-go.
And thank goodness, because I think after that it was like a 2-hour wait.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thankful we did it when we had to.
And it was just really crowded in general that day, because I think we went on a Sunday because they were going to be open an hour later and close at 8 instead of 7.
Yeah.
But I mean, then you get the weekend crowds, and we really got the weekend crowds. I mean, y'all didn't get to ride Velocicoaster because it was like, what, 130 minutes?
Yeah.
When we were getting ready to leave, we were going to hit it up, but it was, so the crowds were pretty insane all day.
Yeah, it was a busy day, but at least we had a little bit of extra leeway of time if we needed it. We didn't necessarily need
And we
it.
did some like random stuff that we'd never done before. That
Sure.
like Minions ride with the guns and stuff.
Yeah.
Those are fun.
Yeah.
So it's nice.
Can you
to do
call that
something
a
different.
ride, even though it's you're
Well,
standing
you
up?
stand and shoot a gun.
Okay.
I don't know.
I
It's a
enjoyed
ride
it.
in the South. So how about that?
I enjoyed it. I actually was surprised how much I liked. I think it was called Villains Con or something like that. So
I think so.
it was more enjoyable than I thought it was going to be, and it was a nice little change of pace for something that we don't typically do there. So, all in all, a successful day at Universal. It takes us to day 3, and day 3.
Wait, day 2?
Day 2, day 3. Well, no,
Well, you called yesterday day or that day 1.
The third day that we're on the trip.
The second park day.
The second park day, and our first Disney day was one word:
Rain.
Rain, rain, go away. All day. I don't think, did we ever have, Brittney?
It did not stop raining for 1 second. It let up sometimes, but it was still raining.
Yes. And we went to Animal Kingdom, and we went to not Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, and to Epcot in that day, and spent the entire day. Well, some of us spent the entire day in ponchos. Jessica.
Yeah, it was raining the entire day. Of course I was going to be wearing a poncho.
You and Ryan were just drenched the whole day being dumb. That's
I
why y'all are
Not fun
sick.
at
I
all.
put a poncho on at one point. I can't
I
remember
did too.
when, but
That's exactly why y'all are sick, because you were just wet for 14 straight hours.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, it was just a delayed sickness, I guess.
Yes,
for that.
Yeah.
I did think about that because of how nice and favorable the temperatures were all week, but cool at times. That like, I wonder if I'm setting myself up for failure here, especially with this day.
Well, I guess at least it wasn't freezing and raining.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was not the best.
Yeah. So other than the rain, you want to go first this time? What sticks out to you from Animal Kingdom?
Well, because of the rain, the crowds were less.
Yes.
And we got to do Flight of Passage 2 times before lunch on that morning. So that was my favorite. I love Flight of Passage.
Yeah. It's always nice when you can get in a double dose of Flight of Passage because that thing can build up over time.
Yeah.
But the crowds obviously were very favorable that day for the most part. How about that? There were some things that as the rain really started picking up, people started like huddling into like places and rides and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that was a nice aspect. My biggest thing was getting to see Baby Boxo that day.
Oh, yeah.
I loved that so much as a former zookeeper, and he was out in rare form. We've already got a video up for you guys about that. A lot of you have already watched that. He was just having a ball out there. I had to drag you guys over there to come see him because y'all were huddled up under some awning for a little bit. And I said, no, I'm going to go see him. And it was worth it, wasn't it?
Sorry that we were eating a snack.
Well, that's fine. Oh, that snack was pretty good because Brittney, you're the one that turned us on to that breakfast sandwich.
Yeah. I wasn't really convinced that I was going to like this, but it was just one of those things that we're in the right place at the right time. And I was just going to get it. But it's that pancake sandwich with the guava. And it was so good. I really liked that a lot.
Yeah, we had one. I think the second time we went.
Second
back.
time we went back, yeah, that was so good.
That was a nice little surprise.
Definitely be getting that again.
Yes, definitely. You should try that. And when I return in a month or so, I'll try to also turn my family onto that little aspect. That's the great thing about this is I've got like things to like show them and get them to try. They'll probably hate all of it, but
well, your mom won't eat any of it.
That's fair.
More for you.
That's more for me. Ryan, what you got? Anything from Animal Kingdom, Epcot that day, rain?
So yeah, the rain, I mean, as much as it was just an absolute rain day, it did keep the crowds down. So can't really, hate on it too much. But one thing I was very happy that we did get to do was ride Dinosaur for what might be my last time. We were talking about, Universal being dated at some points. I get that the dinosaur ride is dated, but I don't know. For me, that whole Dino ride itself was such a staple for Animal Kingdom. I'm just really glad we got to do it at least one last time for me.
You know, at Everest in a pouring down rain too. God, I can't
Yeah,
believe y'all did that.
yeah.
I can't believe Mom did that.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah,
believe
that's-
she
yeah.
did that.
Yeah, I've looked at the footage of I took of that, and it's pretty entertaining. We're pretty wet on that one, riding and the driving. rain. Ryan, that reminds us, and I think you said this on the ride in our ride footage. You said, you looked back and you said, do you remember riding Thunder Mountain in worse than this?
Oh yeah, that was Thunder Mountain in the rain was an experience. Yeah, once the rain started to feel like kind of pebbles hitting us, I just remember thinking, oh no, we might have bit off more than we could chew on that one. But
Thunder Mountain, you have a little bit like that beginning part that's underground, and maybe that one thing, I think it goes up the hill inside. Everest, you've at least got a lot of it indoors. Again, it kind of zips in and out, so you can get a little bit of a but I feel like Thunder Mountain in the rain, you just have so much time outside and you just get pelted the entire time while it happens.
Yes.
But I'm glad you brought up Dinosaur, because certainly with all the construction going on there, all that.
So sad.
I know.
I know.
What did Walt Disney say? It's not a museum, so it has to change sometimes. Well,
Why do you know all these Walt Disney quotes?
I'll just make them up and say Walt said.
Honestly, no. He's like, yeah, Walt said.
No, they can quote me. He said it's not a museum. It will always change. Disneyland.
You know, Elsie said it's all started with a mouse or something.
Well, I'm glad that you found one quote there to say amongst all of that. All right. Anything that I know we really talked about Animal Kingdom. Is there anything from Epcot that we need to mention that night? I know it was pretty miserable with the rain.
Yeah, I think I'm just kind of bummed that it was the last night of Festival of the Arts, so that's why we really made a point to go. And it was just kind of sad because, like, by the time we got there, all of the chalk art had washed off. They weren't doing the paint by numbers because it was raining. All of the vendors, for the most part, had closed up shop. We did get to go to a couple food booths and try some food in the rain. So very quickly we were scarfing it down before it got soaked. We had a bunch of sweet treats though. We did that hummingbird cake and
good, Ryan. That was a good pick.
Yeah, that was very, very good.
Yeah, and then the empanada. You got, what was that chocolate cake you got, Kyle?
The Black Forest cake, I think, is what it was called, with the cherries on top and stuff like that.
But don't forget the best thing:
like
the grilled cheese and tomato soup.
That was amazing. The pimento fried green tomato grilled cheese.
Yes.
I've been eyeballing that for the last 2 festivals now, and I'm so glad we got it.
But the funny thing was that for me, sure, the sandwich was good, but it was the tomato soup. And
you don't even like tomatoes.
And I just started, I started downing the thing right then because it was so tasty for some reason.
It was good.
I don't know why. So that, I mean, I guess for most of us, it sounds like that may have been the biggest hit or surprise of the.
I think that was my favorite meal the whole trip. Wow. It was so good. And the pancake sandwich, that was really great too.
I was about to say.
So the rainy day was good for you.
It was a good food day. There wasn't much to do other than sit around and eat.
Yes,
that's fair.
Especially when it got later on in the evening, it rained more.
But we got kicked out of Frozen, and we got that lightning lane.
Because
it broke down. So that was positive.
That's true. And because of that, I love good fireworks. So we got to kind of walk around as we were moving out of the park and see the fireworks a little bit.
We did have extended evening hours that night, so we were there until 11. Mm-hmm. It was just a long, wet day because we rope dropped at 7:30 and then didn't leave Epcot until 11. We needed that rest day the next day.
Yeah, we did. That brings us to the break day. I think obviously you try to take a break on a break day, but it never works out. Some of us maybe actually got more rest than others. I feel like I didn't.
Well, I took a big old nap that day.
Well, you did just have an exhausting day walking around in the rain. And I think we all were probably a little extra tired because of that. But I think the 2 biggest highlights of the day were the meals that we had. Mm-hmm. We got to do Boma breakfast and the boathouse. I'm going to have a lot to say about boathouse, so I'm going to save that. I'm going to just push that. Y'all can talk about it if you want, but I got my own words to say about that. But let's go, Brittney. You go first this time from break day, if whatever you want to talk about from it.
Gosh, I feel like I missed so much of the break day because after Boma, y'all dropped me off at the resort so I could nap for like 4 hours. Can't even remember what else we did what else I did other than eat those 2 meals. I guess we walked around Disney Springs for a little bit.
Yeah, you did that. We did go shopping over there for a little bit.
That's all I did, I think, that day was eat breakfast and dinner.
Well, I mean, that can be
around a little bit.
Yeah, you did. Well,
food was great.
Ryan, you've done Boma before with Brittney, right?
Yes.
So how did this one?
I remember what we did. That was so good. We got that cookie croissant at the Amorette's.
Oh, that's right.
That was good.
That was good.
That was a little pre-dinner snack. That was excellent.
That was good.
Yeah, because I think we've all said that we've never stepped foot in Emirates before. Is that correct? Was that our first time for
Yeah,
Emirates?
my first time.
Yeah, we've never gone in there, just not because we've avoided it. It's just I feel like we're always on a mission. When it's kind of like we talked about when you go to Disney Springs. If you're not staying at Saratoga Springs, you kind of have to be selective.
Mhm.
This time we could, hey, let's stop in there and go see what this is
See all
about.
those cute little cakes.
Yes,
Yep.
the cute little cakes that I really wanted to buy a lot of.
I know.
You know,
Oh my gosh.
you know how many times that I had to stop myself from leaving y'all while y'all were asleep and going over to Disney Springs and buying something?
I bet.
Like swirls on the water was. I did good. I did not buy swirls on the water without you guys. So
We
just-
appreciate
Wow. We did go to Gideon's that day too before dinner.
Yep.
Got the cold
That's
brew and some
true.
cookies.
Gideon's was a good one as always.
It's always a hit.
What about Boma? What did you think about Boma?
Boma's my favorite. I want to do that every time now.
Yeah.
I loved it. I think I loved it more than anybody else, but I thought it was great. It was like the perfect mix of sweet and savory
Mhm.
African and American foods that I knew,
Yeah.
but there was enough new stuff for me to try. I loved it. I loved everything about it. The pog juice, even though they called it jungle juice, whatever.
Oh, juice is great. Yeah, what they call it?
Um,
Jungle juice. That was weird.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know, but it was so good. It was wonderful.
I enjoyed that meal a lot because as you guys had prepped us for that there are African flavors there. It's just kind of a little bit of everything. And you just had so many options. That was the problem is I know it's a buffet, you go get what you want, but like there were so many things that I wanted
I
to
know.
try. And so by the time I made my way through the entire line, I was like, I'm almost full and I'm not going to be able to get some seconds of things.
I know. I feel like I had to get the smallest portion ever of everything so
Yes.
that I could taste what I wanted to. And then by the time you get to the bread table, you're like, well, crud, this all looks amazing.
Yeah, that's why the breads I think are the last on
Probably.
that. So,
And that's when mom was like, here, hold my plate so I can get some sticky bread. I'm like, yeah.
yes. I mean, it lived up to the hype that you guys had built.
Yeah.
So appreciate you guys getting us a chance to go and do that one. I want to talk about Boathouse because I have been talking about going there. I know Ryan and Brittany have already been there once, and it may not, I don't know how it lived up to the hype again for you guys, but I've had this talked up by friends, by favorite podcasters of mine. And I was just convinced it wasn't going to live up to it. And boy, did it. And then some. I love the atmosphere.
Was it sitting in the half boat that really did it for
I
you?
did. I guess I didn't realize that I was going to be sitting in a half boat. I was like, this is so weird and cool at the same time. I love it. And I had some mac and cheese shrimp dish with just amazingness. It was awesome. It seemed. How did everybody else's food taste that night? You guys?
It was great.
Yeah, it was great.
Was this time better, worse, the same than when y'all had been previously?
I think I liked my meal better the first time. I got the fish tacos the first time, and then this last time I got some kind of veggie pasta, which it was still really good. I think if I just had to do it over again, I would get the fish tacos.
Yeah.
I just wanted to try something different. But the rolls,
Yeah,
so good.
Ryan, I think you had like about 5 of those, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and that's what I remember last time, or I don't remember last time having rolls or any bread service like that. But this time when they brought the rolls out, I definitely got my money's worth on that. They're fantastic.
I feel like Brittany definitely got her money's worth in that bowl of pasta. I've never seen a
yeah.
bowl of pasta that big.
It looked like I did not even touch it after
Right.
I finished.
Yeah,
So
well,
I was eating on that for a couple days.
yeah. And that's
Thank
the
you,
great thing.
full-size fridge and microwave.
Right, yeah, that's exactly. I was about to say it was why we were lucky to have that fridge. I took my half back as well. I could have finished it, but I was like, this is probably not a good decision for Jessica in the room that night. I'll just leave it at that. So I'm just going to leave
After
that.
your
there.
Blaze Pizza incident.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Oh,
Hold on.
Yeah.
All right, here, real quick, funny story from the day I probably should have mentioned. We did Blaze Pizza, which is I enjoyed, but I got the spicy pepperoni and I got some extra spices put on it.
He did not.
Yes, I did.
He got the exact thing that was on the menu, and they said which one, and Kyle took that as I'm getting extra.
Well, how about this? It was very spicy. It was very good, and I paid for it. The next day, the very first day of the trip, I got very acquainted with bathrooms. We'll just put it at that. Leave it at there. Anything else anybody wants to bring up from the rest day? Does that cover the bases?
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, we went to we did go to what was it, Disney Warehouse?
Yes.
Yeah.
Character
Oh, we went
Warehouse.
to Coronado Springs.
Yep.
Yeah, we did get that big pizza pretzel.
Yep.
That was huge.
Yes.
Another thing. I feel like that day was a day of shopping, eating, and bringing back leftovers for the fridge. That stayed there the whole week.
I mean, to be fair, the pizza pretzel was fine. I wouldn't do it again. How about that?
Really? So you've soured on it a little bit? I thought
I
you
mean,
would.
I liked it, but I wouldn't get it again.
Yeah.
To me, it wasn't worth going out to Coronado for.
Oh, wow.
It was good for a one-time treat, but I'm not doing it a second
I
time.
gotcha. Okay. All right. I thought she liked it a little bit more at the time. That's why I was a little bit
I
shocked.
liked it.
Yeah.
I didn't love it.
Yeah. Well, I liked it a lot because pizza and pepperonis, and obviously they didn't work so well for me the first day, but they did. All right. I'll stop bringing it up. All right. Day 4.
You're just making up numbers at this point. It was Wednesday.
It was
trip.
Wednesday. There we go. We'll call it Wednesday of the trip, and this is our second Disney Park day. We went to Hollywood Studios, and then am I correct in that? Hollywood Studios, and then Magic Kingdom. Brittany, do I have that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right. Well, Ryan, what you got? What sticks out to you from that first day, Hollywood Studios, Magic Kingdom?
I believe this is when we went right to Rise.
Yes.
The best part of the day.
Yeah, got on the ride. Everything's going smooth. And then the ride just decides to shut down.
Yeah.
So we got to be evacuated off of Rise. Got to see some kind of backlot stuff. So that was cool. And then got a multi-pass experience after that. So it was.
Yep. That was really cool. That was my first experience being evacuated from a ride. That was on my Disney bucket list.
I was going to ask. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've now checked that box. This is your second time being evacuated, which was cooler.
Of all rides to be evacuated from, that's like one of the most intricate.
Yes.
So it was really cool being able to walk on the track. And of course, they don't record. And
I forgot my phone was out. I forgot my backpack had the camera just a little bit higher than it should have been. It was a mistake.
I think my favorite part of being evacuated is it was the 5 of us plus a dad and his young son in the car with us. And of course, we get stopped right as Kylo Ren is facing us.
Yeah.
And then
perfect timing.
There's this red light and like that
one more time.
No sound going off the whole time. And so we're just stuck. And all of a sudden, and the little boy, he's sitting right beside me and he's doing his best. He's probably 4 or 5. He's really trying to hold it together. He's a little bit afraid. He's holding on to Dad's arm. And then Kyle goes, "Well, this is creepy." And the little boy immediately starts crying. I was like, cool. That's great. Kyle just terrifies this little child.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was
really
not aware. I guess my biggest pet peeve is lack of self-awareness, and I had a lack of self-awareness.
You did. I think I pinched your arm a little bit. Like
Probably did. So as I was saying, this is your second time being evacuated. You did on Big Thunder and Disneyland with me. Mm-hmm. So same thing. I think
but this was better. Like Brittany said, because you can walk and see all of the props or whatever you call them things.
We walked through the cannon room, which
that never works.
I'm convinced that's what shut it down. Actually,
it always does. But
one day those cannons will work again for us.
One day.
Convinced of it.
But out of all the places for us to get stopped, I'm telling you, right behind Kylo Ren was like the best place. Yes. It was so fun.
Yeah. So we got to see all the little intricacies and things about that. What else from that day? Hollywood.
That was the highlight of my week.
Really?
I loved getting evacuated. That was so cool.
We had some really good food this day too, because I got that ice cream from Hollywood Scoops, and that was like the best cookies and cream ice cream I think I've ever had. That was amazing. And then we had that buffalo chicken grilled cheese.
Oh my god. We had a lot of grilled cheese this trip.
We did.
That
was so good. I love that.
That was way better than I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be really spicy, but it was not.
Think about how long we've passed ABC Commissary for years and just never gotten in there. It's 2 times in a row now that we've done it.
And do you know that Mom said she would not do Oga's again, and that just hurt my heart.
I mean, the fact that you have to stand really kills it for me.
Maybe that's why she didn't like it so much.
You're not relaxing.
I thought because she loves Star Wars so much, I just thought she would feel like she's at that place where Jabba the Hutt is or whatever it is.
I thought the same thing. I was trying to, hey, look around, think about the, episode 4 cantina, everything. I don't know if it was during the day. Yeah, she was done, I think, at that point. So
she did not even care.
No, we had a nice little drink and went on our way.
that was my second time in there, and I enjoyed this one. I enjoyed it the first time, but the second time, since we were at the bar this time, you can watch the little hijinks because they got little skits they do, and interact with the bartender. That was so much fun this time.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the heck out of it. So I'm sorry that your mom didn't like it as much.
Maybe we built it up too much. She always says, "Don't build things up for her too much," because then she gets disappointed.
Yeah, well, we'll get to the end here in a little bit, but she got disappointed, I think, a little bit by that treat, the creme brulee thing at the end. We'll talk about that because she built that up all week, I think.
Yeah, she did.
Live up to the hype. I'm trying to think if there's anything big. Magic Kingdom that night, we just spent a lot of time riding rides.
Y'all did Tiana's for the first time.
Thank you.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that.
Okay, what do you think?
I loved it. I was not sure I was going to like the re-theme. Love it. Fits perfectly with the park.
Cute.
Love the songs. Love everything. It's way better, in my opinion.
It's great.
Yeah.
Kyle got soaked because we all wore ponchos, and he sat in the front row and did not wear a poncho.
I will always miss Splash Mountain. It will always be me, the better version of it, but I enjoyed the heck out of it. And the fact that I got, as you said, so wet like that, I feel like they cranked it up a notch. I feel like they did.
Yeah. I mean, you even get wet like just on the little mini drops throughout the ride.
Yeah.
I think if there's a critique, I think after going to Avatar, even Na'vi, and seeing how well they did the avatars there, and then seeing Tiana on that ride, I'm like, y'all could have done so much better with her specifically. I think they could, the animatronics could have been better.
Well,
but
to be fair, the last animatronic has been having a lot of troubles, and she was in what they would call B mode in this one, where her head's moving, but that's about it. But
it was a little bit creepy.
She's supposed to be doing all her hand movements.
Okay, well, that's what I was missing, because I felt like, you see all the avatars move and do all their special stuff, and then you get Tiana, and she wasn't moving, but there's all this singing and dancing and everything supposed to be happening, but the ride was still great.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Splash Mountain will always be mine, but it's just, it hurts a little bit because I ride through that and I'm just humming the zippity doo dah and stuff. I will say that I'm so glad they used Dig a Little Deeper as you're climbing up to the top. I was like, that's the perfect song for that. Other than if they weren't going to use Dr. Facilier, which I'm kind of sad they didn't in that one.
Nah, it's about Tiana, not him.
Okay, fine. But I like that one. We're going to go back to each of these parks again, but is there anything from that day that we're forgetting?
Oh, not that I can think of. That was another extended evening hours night. So, just exhausted as always. I think it didn't close till midnight that night.
Right. I stayed a little bit later than everybody else, and I got on Space Mountain a few times, and I think I did it. Yeah, I did Tron that evening, I think.
You did.
Without guys, which was...
Yep, because that's when Mom and I went back early. We met that lady that Mom talked to the whole bus ride back, and then y'all went and pin traded and then came back right after us.
We had some good pin trading that day.
Yeah,
we went all the way up and down the Emporium, and we're harassing everyone to see their pin pouches.
Looking at the pin pouches.
Let me see your pin pouches. We didn't make it too creepy, but there was a little bit of creep to it. So, at least when I did it, sometimes I felt.
Well, sometimes you just got to look real close and see if it's worth even asking.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's true. All right, second to last day. This is Thursday. Lost track of which, I guess, day 6 or whatever it is. We did
making up days.
We did Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios again. Thankfully, this day, no rain for Animal Kingdom, so we got to enjoy the park with the sun and all that, and better pictures, better time.
Safari without the rain.
Although the safari, and you guys correct me if Brittney was on both of those with us. Do you feel like the first safari was better than the second safari?
I honestly can't even remember. I feel like the lions were maybe a little bit more active. The first one.
Well, and the second one, remember our driver was like, "Oh, there's lions," and then vroom, just went past and was like, "Look at these ostrich eggs." And we're like, "Okay, nobody cares about that."
Right. Yeah. Well, I care about them because I care about
They're
hers.
fake. Why would we care about some fake eggs?
Same eggs for years.
Right.
They're not fake. I promise you.
We've been seeing the exact same 6 ostrich eggs for 20 years. You're telling me that it takes 20 years for those eggs to hatch?
They lay a lot of eggs. I can speak from experience.
I promise you those are fake. I promise.
They might be, but I doubt that
they've been in the exact same location. They make the same joke. You can have 20 chicken eggs for 1 ostrich egg. That's a big omelet.
having opened up we had 2 ostriches at the zoo that I worked at, and the amount that they produced that we had to dispose of, make use of, I'm just telling you.
I believe that there are that many eggs. What I'm saying is those 6 that are in that one little area by the grate, over by the rhinos and whatever crap's over there, those are fake.
Okay, well, there you have it. They're fake, apparently. We saw Baby Boxo again, which he was sleeping that day. So, but the crowds were definitely a lot bigger there. What else, Brittany? Do you remember anything from that day specifically?
Yeah, there was a period at Animal Kingdom where we split off for a little bit, and Ryan and I went and had breakfast at the Thule Canteen, tried their new menu, and it was good. We got the blueberry French toast. I wouldn't say I'm like super excited to do it again. I mean, I would. It was good, but nothing, to write home about. I think our big win of that morning was we saw the pin trash can.
Oh yeah.
We'd been looking for that all trip. We saw it twice that day because then we saw another one again without Kyle at Hollywood Studios. That was my favorite.
You were trash.
What?
Whoa!
Shots fired on the show. My goodness. Y'all did see a lot of good pin stuff without me, which I'm very jealous of. But we all make our choices. I chose to do other things during that time, so I'll try my best to find it though when I go back in a few weeks. But
this
so
was
you
also
wouldn't.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
This was also the day that we did Roundup Rodeo for the first time.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's Ryan, what'd you think? Roundup Rodeo.
I definitely enjoyed it. I wasn't sure how hungry I was going to be, kind of going into it when I hear buffet or anything like all you care to eat. I try to mentally and physically prepare myself during the day. But I thought the sides were very good. I liked the ambiance and, how they had everything set up inside the restaurant. The food, again, sides were fantastic. Really liked those. But the meat itself for, being... I wouldn't say I'm too high and mighty on barbecue, but I do know what good barbecue is.
Yeah.
Wasn't the absolute best I've ever had. I thought that it was very good barbecue though for a theme park, barbecue place. So I enjoyed it. Ate way more than I should have. But I really enjoyed it.
Brittany, what do you think about it?
I thought that mac and cheese was amazing. I loved that mac and cheese so much. I'm not the biggest meat eater out there, so some of the meats I was a little wary of.
How'd you feel about that sausage that looked like a worm?
I hated that so much. That spiral sausage, that really the ribs were good. I really liked the ribs and the brisket, but I was definitely there for the sides. The watermelon, me and your mom ate probably 4 bowls of watermelon and mac and cheese. And what were the other sides? Oh, that corn. That corn was so good.
The street corn and the tomato and cucumber. Which I think I was the only one that ate that.
And the rolls.
No, I like that. The tomato and cucumber.
I did. I had some
biscuits. Well. Those were great.
The baked beans.
Yes.
And I really liked the desserts too. They were so cute in little cups, and you could just have whichever one you wanted.
Yeah. They were cute. I would do that again.
Yeah.
I was the opposite, Brittany. I hated that mac and cheese.
Really?
No. I did not like the goldfish crushed up on the top. I thought that was just...
I don't think I even realized that was goldfish.
Yeah.
I didn't know
it was goldfish. It took away from it. It needed to be a little... I don't know. I love all kinds of mac and cheese, but this one needed to be baked or something. I
like a creamy mac and cheese better than a baked mac and cheese. So that's probably why I like it.
I like baked better, but I don't know. The flavor... I think the goldfish flavor, that's all I could taste was just goldfish. And I was like,
I did not taste that at all. I didn't even know that's what that was.
That's what...
Well, I enjoyed the heck out of it too much. I overdid it a little bit, and I think that's typically my MO. When we go to places like Ohana, things like that, I just made the mistake of forgetting that I was still in a Disney park and we still had things to do.
rides to do.
Mickey and Minnie's never was worse of a ride to me than it was at that moment.
So that Daisy area where you're like,
I was so full. I was so feeling sick at that point. And I knew when we came up to the cha-cha-cha-cha-cha, I knew that was going to be it. I thought I was going to be throwing up over everybody. But
thank you for not.
Clearly, I had a great time with eating that because that street corn, Oh,
So good.
so good. Mac and cheese was good. I was surprised how much I liked the watermelon, tomato, cucumber thing. And
Those are 2 separate things.
no, tomato, cucumber.
Watermelon mint.
Yeah,
Watermelon
mint.
mint, sorry. Well, I just meant those little side things that
Oh,
all
yeah.
kind of came at the same time. I know nobody's going to probably talk about the biscuits, but I actually liked them a lot.
Mhm.
They were like,
Yeah.
they weren't the most amazing thing in the world, but I thought everything that they threw out there together just
It was good.
worked well together. It is, like you said, Ryan, it's not the most amazing barbecue you're ever going to have, but for mass produced, all you care to enjoy in the atmosphere, I thought it was a pretty good value given.
Yeah,
the
I mean,
price
I'd go back.
Yeah.
I agree. I definitely agree.
Yeah. So that's probably the highlight of that day. And Kyle, not to get into it.
And Fantasmic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Brittney, what did you think about Fantasmic?
I liked it. That was my first time seeing Fantasmic. I had really high expectations because people talk so highly about it. It was incredibly chaotic to me.
Mhm.
It was hard to follow. I mean, I knew what it was about, and I think if I had gone in blind having no idea what it was about, I wouldn't have known what was going on.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun seeing as many characters and the different songs and everything that they incorporated. The flow of it is just not great.
It's a lot going on. I think you called it a fever dream at
Yeah.
one point.
Felt like a fever dream.
Yeah.
Not like a fever dream. We've all seen it before, but we saw the older iteration of it. And
I didn't know.
well, like Moana was in it now, and she wasn't in it back then. They took out a section of it that's somewhat controversial, just because of the times that we live in and stuff like that. But like other than that, it's the same show. They still come out on the Steamboat Willie at the end with all the characters and stuff. Which you don't remember that?
They
come out with Steamboat Willie, the boat.
The big boat.
That big boat's called Steamboat Willie?
Did you not? That was Mickey's version of Steamboat Willie at the time. Have you never known that?
No.
I failed her. Well, that's Steamboat Willie.
Okay, I thought this whole time Steamboat Willie was the name of Mickey Mouse.
We're not.
Anyway.
We're not getting that today. But that's still all the same. I enjoyed it. It was nice to do. We haven't done it in years. I think, like you all said when we kind of were talking about it after, it's great to do it every once in a while, but definitely there's a time for that and a time to utilize that time to go ride rides and stuff like that. But I'm happy that we did it this time. So, final day. I think we've covered everything from that day. This day, we chose to go to Magic Kingdom. And that was the original plan, was just to kind of be there with the chance to go to Epcot. We did and came back. And we also got to hang out with one of Brittany's friends that day. So shout out to her for spending some time with us and being a great addition to our party, our crazy party that she probably never wants to spend time with.
I don't think that's true.
Well, I was on my best behavior, just so you know. And that's
sad.
That's saying something right there. Jessica, what sticks out to you from the final day?
We did the fireworks, and we never do fireworks, so I am not a huge fireworks person, only because it just stresses me out to be around that many people and think about what happens if somebody has an emergency. But it was really fun, and Mom loved it, and she loved spending time with us at the fireworks. And like I said, it's one of those things we just never do it. So if we don't do it for another 5 years, I'm glad we did it once. It was actually a lot of fun.
And your husband got you prime location to watch it. I'm just saying,
you did a good job.
Probably one of the best spots that I've ever been able to attain for the
second
fireworks.
best.
Second best.
Our
yes.
first best was in 2012.
Yes, you'll never have that happen again. So don't even try at this point. What do you guys think about? I mean, fireworks for the first time for you, Brittany, right?
No, I watched them in my trip in October when I was there by myself, but that was the most chaotic, crowded day. So even though Casey and we were not able to get up with y'all because they had closed everything down before, so we were a little bit farther back, but those spots were so much better than the spot that I had before. I mean, I was like all the way back by the Emporium on Main Street in October. It was so insanely crowded. So this was nothing in comparison to that. We had great seats. I could see, or great standing spots. I could see the castle. That's what I really wanted, was to be able to see the projections, because I was so far back last time I couldn't really see.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great. I loved it. Loved it as always. And we actually got to see Tinkerbell fly this time. She did not fly the last time that I saw it.
That's like a huge part of the show. How
Yeah.
did she not fly?
I think it's like if it's windy or
Oh,
there's I don't know.
Yeah,
weather
safety.
issues.
Yeah.
Well, whether it's at the fireworks or not, Ryan, something that I noticed about you and your mom, y'all killed some popcorn on that day.
Oh my
Y'all
gosh.
enjoyed the heck out of popcorn.
Yeah, and it's always kind of the running joke that, I always want to get a popcorn bucket because I always want to get popcorn. And usually I will never get popcorn. I might have the popcorn bucket with me, but never get popcorn. This time, yeah, my mom decided early in that day too, let's take a break. Let's get some popcorn. We go back to the park after Epcot for the fireworks and, boom, she wants some more popcorn. So yeah, we absolutely crushed the popcorn that day.
Yeah, when we were having trouble getting some food before the fireworks as we were holding down the spot from everybody that realized, hey, they found this amazing spot. Like, you're coming back with popcorn, with cotton candy. You just had like the smorgasbord ready for you for the fireworks.
He's ready to hunker down.
I was, we don't, again, as we said, we don't usually do the fireworks or kind of, post up before it. So when we kind of all decided that that's what we were going to do, I was like, you got to have snacks to do this, right? So
definitely. The big thing for me that day, and it's my new favorite Disney thing, is having a Dole Whip in the Tiki Room.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool actually.
Listen, Enchanted Tiki Room, it is what it is. I love it because Walt had a hand in it and all that stuff.
Your best friend.
Yes, that's why I love it. But I get it's hokey, all that stuff.
But Mom loves it too.
That too, and that's why we always do it. But I recognize that it's not everybody's cup of tea, and that it is what it is. But now that I know that I can take a Dole Whip from Aloha Isle right next door into the show and enjoy the show, me and your mom just had a blast. We're just sitting there with our little Dole Whips.
Y'all did, because that was when she figured out she could get the coconut pineapple swirl.
Yeah.
Which isn't on the menu. And so she was so excited about that. And the Tiki Room. It was just like her perfect afternoon.
It was great. I can't believe it taking me this long to do that at Disney World. Just goes to show you there's new things every day.
It was a time. Ryan and I got to watch the man take a phone call during the Tiki Room.
I loved it.
Oh, and what else we did was we saw Country Bears, and Ryan lost his mind over that.
Oh my gosh. I was not sure what to expect after the new kind of revamp with Country Bear. Again, the three little, bears come out, start singing, and then that massive bear comes out to the side singing. I had a fantastic time. I love that. That was a treat.
I think we all walked away from that having done Country. Well, Brittney had never done the original Country Bears, right?
Right. But
Okay.
I had done this one before.
But you had done this one before. But I think we all recognize, again, it's kind of one of those things that is what it is. But this is one of those things I think that they have put something Disney on top of it, and it works. It works so well. You get to hear familiar songs, but they play their old jokes and their gags, and
you got to see the same bears. That's what I was afraid, that it was going to be new songs and new bears. So I loved it.
All the same ones. It was like Liver Lips McGrowl and something, but there was no blood on the saddle anymore, which I was very sad about.
But I liked that the Dolly Parton kind of bear still flies down from the ceiling.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I found myself still humming some of the old songs as they come down and stuff like that. Like when she would come down, she'd sing that old one. But anyway, that was a big hit, I think, for all of us as well. Is there anything we're missing from the final day and the end of our trip? Brittney?
Nothing really stood out that day. It was just kind of like very go with the flow, just fun, chill day.
Yeah.
Corn dog nuggets to finish the night off.
Yes. And then
nice.
I left you, y'all left me again. I let you leave me, and I spent the night just perusing around, and once the park closed, I kind of lingered a little bit in the hub and enjoyed the sounds and stuff. I didn't stay the entire night and try to close it out like I've done before. You should try it, by the way, folks, if you've never done it. It's fun and kind of creepy in a fun way, though. But maybe to close out our show, when talking about our trip, let's maybe go around the horn really quickly and give the favorite thing that you did the entire trip. I'll start with you and put you on the spot.
Get evacuated off of Rise.
That's it. Just hands down.
That was just like the highlight of my trip. So I loved it.
So Disney, from this point, all they have to do is evacuate you off of rides.
No. Specifically, like that one where you got to see behind the scenes. Like when we got evacuated in Disneyland, you just walk down an elevator, or like walk down the stairs to an elevator. Like that was very boring.
No. I may or may not have some footage that disproves that. It was pretty amazing too.
Anyway, this was better.
Yes. So that's a good highlight for you, Ryan. What's your highlight?
I, as crazy as it is, I really do think that very big bear that came out of nowhere, I thoroughly enjoyed that. It was a surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one. I also, when we were leaving on our last day from Magic Kingdom, when we were looking, for some pen pouches here and there, We did find right as you're leaving to the far left beyond Tony's, I think it is. Right past Tony's, there is like a little gift shop in there where you can get like Mickey hats, like customized with your name.
Yeah.
I've never seen that shop. I guess we've walked by it a million times. We went in there and looked at it, found a pinboard, of course. But that was just, it was so tucked away and such a surprise that how many times have we walked past this and never seen it? So we got to go in there and check that.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Kyle or Brittany, you probably know. That's been there a long time. And I think that's where Ryan Mom got our original Mickey and Minnie, or Mickey hats with our names on the back stitched on them. I think that's where Mom got them when we were kids.
Yeah, no, I believe it. And it's just, it's its own little thing. I had never, I guess, remembered walking in there. So we got to find a new little spot.
Full circle. It just all comes back.
It was.
Brittany, favorite thing?
I think that dang grilled cheese from Pop Eats. It was so good. And the pancake sandwich, just all the food.
That pancake sandwich, I could eat that again today.
So let me get this straight before I get to mine. We've got evacuation, we've got food, we've got Big Bear, and a surprise gift shop. For me, I think just the fact that Boathouse lived up to the hype that I had had it built for years by so many people, and I will be back at some point to Boathouse to do some damage there again. And this next time I want to sit outside. Next time I want to, after I'm done, go ride in an Amphir car around the little lake down
and have
there.
the full experience.
Yeah.
And it was so good. And I remember sitting on our balcony our last night and just looking out over there because Boathouse was right across from me. I was just like, how have I not done you before? Like, it's just so amazing. So amazing. Anyway, that's our trip for February 2025. We hope you guys enjoyed listening to us talk about it and reminisce. And we didn't cover everything, but certainly that's the best that we can recall right now, especially after recovering from our flu brain. At least me and Ryan are right now. With that being said, thanks for hanging out with us and watching, and we'll sign off now. Until we assemble again,
May the force be with you.
we'll see you real soon.